It's something of a relief to read this morning that Rishi Sunak was, quote, taken by surprise when he agreed to make a £1,000 bet over his Rwanda policy. He says, "I'm not a betting person." Well, thank God for that. But, he seems to have taken us all on a little bit of a chancy ride over the last year. But he says that he shook hands with Piers Morgan in order to convey his absolute commitment to the policy. So I think somebody has had a quiet word with him and said, look, if you were genuine about this, then that possibly compromises the ministerial code. And I think you have to get a message out that this was just an illusory bet. This was not real. You're not a betting person, blah, blah, blah. So in the same way that Rishi Sunak doesn't really understand what a bet is, so he doesn't understand the financial pressures facing ordinary households. But, that's Rishi Sunak, the millionaire who married into money. And the bet, he says, will go to charity. And because it exceeds the £900 cost of living payments paid to eligible households on mean-tested benefits, it's rather like sort of throwing people's misery in their face. But he says how important it is to sort out the Rwanda problem. But the Rwanda problem is entirely a problem of his own making, and it's not going to solve the immigration crisis. The immigration crisis is about the hostile environment set up by Theresa May. That's how, God knows how many prime ministers ago. And at the time when she set that up, she wasn't even prime minister. That was under David Cameron. Who's David? Oh my goodness! He's now the foreign secretary. It's like a game of chess or a game of Ring Around the Roses. Wasn't that some sort of game commemorating the Black Death or the plague or something of that nature? It doesn't have very pleasant, very 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 positive origins, does it? It's as we emerge from COVID, I don't think we really want to be calling to mind that particular nursery song. But neither do we really want to be constantly reminded of the inadequacy of Theresa May. And Rwanda, I'm afraid, does that. It doesn't matter whether Theresa May opposes or proposes the Rwanda policy. It's there in part because of her actions or inactions in the Home Office. The Home Office, which was set up in an entirely new block, specially made for it, moving away from petty France, and it just sits on its nest doing very little. I was going to say doing FO, but the Foreign Office is now run by David Cameron.